In 495 CE, a foreign monk arrived at the Shaolin Temple in China. His name was Bodhidharma, and centuries later, legends would claim he brought martial arts from India. But is that history or myth? To understand the claim, we must begin in India. Kalaripayattu is a traditional martial art from Kerala in southern India. Most historians date its development between the 12th and 16th century CE, during the period of the Chera and later regional kingdoms. It includes strikes, kicks, grappling, weapon training, and body conditioning. Its techniques are documented in regional texts and oral traditions. But there is no surviving written evidence of Kalaripayattu existing in its current form before the medieval period. Now we shift to China. Chinese martial traditions predate the arrival of Bodhidharma. Records from the Tang Dynasty, over 2,000 years earlier, describe military combat training. By the Han Dynasty, 206 BCE, 220 CE, wrestling known as shobua was already practiced. Military manuals documented weapon drills and combat exercises. In 495 CE, during the Northern Wei dynasty, the Shaolin Temple was established at Mount Song. A few decades later, according to the 7th century text Continued Biographies of Eminent Monks by Dao Zhuan, an Indian monk named Bodhidharma arrived in China around 520 CE. This much is historical. Bodhidharma was a Buddhist monk, traditionally said to be from South India, possibly from the Pallava kingdom. He is credited with transmitting Chan Buddhism to China, known later in Japan as Zen. But here is the crucial point. The earliest historical sources about Bodhidharma do not mention martial arts. The famous story that he taught Shaolin monks physical exercises to strengthen their bodies appears much later, during the Ming dynasty. Texts such as the I Ching Jing, the muscle tendon changing classic, were long attributed to him. However, modern scholarship shows that the I Ching Jing was likely written in the 17th century, nearly 1,000 years after Bodhidharma's death. There is no contemporary evidence that Bodhidharma created Shaolin Kung Fu. So what about Shaolin martial arts themselves? The earliest confirmed evidence of Shaolin monks engaging in combat dates to 621 CE. During the Tang Dynasty, 13 Shaolin monks reportedly helped Li Shimin, the future Emperor Taizong, in battle against the warlord Wang Shichong. This event is recorded in the Old Book of Tang. It confirms that Shaolin monks fought in warfare, but it does not say they learned martial arts from India. By the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644, Shaolin had developed a reputation for advanced staff fighting techniques. Military manuals like those by General Qi Zhiguang included references to martial training methods in China. Chinese martial arts evolved through centuries of battlefield experience, military organization, and regional innovation. Meanwhile, what was happening in India? India absolutely had ancient combat traditions. Texts such as the Mahabharata describe weapons training and battlefield combat. The Dhanaveda, an ancient treatise on warfare, outlines archery and weapon skills. But again, there is no historical document linking Indian martial systems directly to Shaolin training. So where did the connection idea come from? In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, during periods of nationalism in both India and China, cultural pride increased. Some Indian writers propose that Kalaripayattu was the mother of all martial arts. At the same time, Shaolin legends about Bodhidharma grew more popular in martial folklore. The theory was appealing. An Indian monk travels to China. He brings Buddhism. Perhaps he also brings fighting techniques. But historians require evidence. Modern researchers, including scholars of Chinese martial history such as Mir Shah, have found no primary source proof that Bodhidharma taught martial arts at Shaolin. There is also a chronological problem. Kalaripayattu's documented development postdates Bodhidharma by several centuries. While India certainly had earlier combat systems, we do not have detailed technical manuals from the 5th century describing something clearly transferable to Shaolin. Cultural exchange between India and China absolutely occurred. Buddhism traveled from India to China via the Silk Road. Monks, translators, and pilgrims crossed Central Asia for centuries. The Chinese monk Xuanzang traveled to India in the 7th century and documented Indian society extensively. But in his detailed records, he does not describe Indian monks teaching martial arts to Chinese temples. There is no archaeological, textual, or military documentation proving that Kung Fu originated in India. Today, most academic historians agree on this. Shaolin Kung Fu developed within China. It was shaped by Chinese military practice, Taoist physical culture, local fighting methods, and temple training systems. The Bodhidharma martial arts connection is a legend that emerged long after his lifetime. That does not diminish either tradition. Kalaripayattu is one of the world's oldest surviving martial systems with a rich cultural heritage. Shaolin Kung Fu is one of China's most influential martial traditions, deeply embedded in its military and religious history. But similarity does not equal origin. Parallel evolution is common in martial systems. Human bodies move in limited ways. Strikes, grappling, weapons. These appear in nearly every warrior culture on Earth. The idea of a single mother art is powerful. It tells a simple story. History, however, is rarely simple. Bodhidharma did change China forever, by shaping Zen Buddhism. But the evidence says he did not create Kung Fu. Sometimes, the truth is more fascinating than the legend. Because civilizations do not borrow their strength from myths. They build it over centuries.